Ibadan, the Oyo State capital. The summit, hosted by Governor Seyi Makinde, brought together key stakeholders across political lines with an urgent call for a united opposition to safeguard Nigeria's democracy. And we have...
In his opening address, Makinde warned of an increasing concentration of political power in the hands of the ruling All Progressive Congress, APC, noting that a significant number of state governments and legislative structures are now aligned under one party. Leaders of the opposition parties described the current political climate as a direct struggle between the APC and the ordinary Nigerians. Adding a technical perspective, former resident electoral commissioner Mike Igini called for immediate amendments of Nigerian electoral laws, warning that existing provisions could undermine credible elections. The Ibadan summit, according to the participants, is a united opposition aimed at sustaining democracy in Nigeria. Ogie Ihimekmen, AIT News.
And joining us live here in the studio to talk more about that summit in Ibadan is an ADC chieftain, Mr. Kenneth Okonkwo, and is right here in the studio. Good evening, Mr. Kenneth.
Good evening, and I appreciate you for inviting me. Good evening to everybody watching from any part of the world.
I know a lot of Nigerians who would like to know what are the core objectives and what should Nigerians hold on to from this summit that was held in Ibadan by Governor Seyi Makinde as the host.
Well, let me first of all point out that we left Abuja this morning by the hands of the Almighty, and He granted us journey mercies, and we came back. And I want to tell you that it was a great success. Let me start by the revelation made by Mike Igini, the former resident electoral commissioner of INEC. He was there for 10 years. He delivered a keynote address ensuring free, fair, credible election in Nigeria 2027. And he said, democracy without opposition has in it a virus that will lead to its death. And that tells you categorically that the whole essence of democracy is power for the people. And democracy is a government installed by elections. And elections must, as of necessity, entail choices. So if there is no opposition parties, there will be no choices. And whenever there is a single candidate, that's not democracy, because that will be an imposition. So that is what APC is trying to foist on Nigeria, a one-party state. And that is the whole idea, that the opposition parties gathered in Ibadan to take a firm stand. And in their communique, they made it clear that we resist with everything that is within us the attempt by APC to foist a one-party state. And we assured Nigerians, by the participation of all the opposition parties, that we are going to field candidates from the president down to every other election, and will bring to naught all the attempts of APC to ensure that Tinubu runs unopposed, because that's the whole idea of trying to scatter opposition parties. And there is in the communique an address that Joe Ashambi Peto, the APC victory is assured INEC chairman, that having become partisan and having become a man of questionable integrity, cannot organize free, fair, credible election in 2027. And it is the communique of the opposition party that he should step aside so that a man that is independent will conduct that election. Okay. We also address the National Assembly to, without delay, remove all the obnoxious sections in our Electoral Act that is going to impound on the integrity of our election 2027. Section like 60, subsection 3, the proviso, that gives APC the right and the opportunity to rig election without compunction. Okay,
Mr. Kenneth. Mr. Kenneth, I'm sorry, I have to cut you there. I want us to dwell more on the summit and in your political party. Could you please tell us how, aside the whole criticism of government, what different mode of governance is your party going to adopt?
Very good. As you noted, this is a summit of all the opposition parties. So it is not an ADC affair. Yes. So you should be looking at what are the decisions that the opposition parties reached, because it was not a particular political party. So it was gasping for breath. It was fighting for survival. It was fighting to sustain democracy in Nigeria. As you know, not my words, but the words of Nyesom Wike, the minister of the FCT. He said APC is a cancer. And so the cancerous cells of APC that is permeating through Nigeria in the area of insecurity, you have seen how Tinubu is incapable of providing security. He went to Jos and said, I will provide security. This will never happen again. Before he left Jos, they were
Mr. Kenneth.
And if you proceed in the area of economy, this government has borrowed more than $30 billion within 3 years. That is cancerous. And then in democracy again, they want to foist a one-party state on Nigeria. That's cancerous. You know what you do to cancer? You remove the cancerous cells, and then you plant the stem cells of APC to help Nigeria and rescue Nigeria from
Mr.
collapse.
Kenneth, while we don't have like the Wike or someone representing him here to like defend himself, or APC going to defend himself.
No, that's what he said. APC is a cancer.
Yeah,
and Tinubu is malaria.
So let's focus on the summit. Taking a cue from the summit, can it truly be said that all political parties were at the summit? And what was the outcome? Is it that all the political parties will come as a coalition and come out with a candidate, or each party, these opposition parties, which will each come up with lead up the people to contest for the election?
Good. You know, in the communique, I was trying to speak on the communique when, Binta, rightly intervened. So one of the items on the communique is that the opposition parties have come together and they have agreed. And I'm talking about the participating opposition parties. I'm not talking about the ones that will opt out on their own. We are not the APC that compels people to associate. So it is in our communique that all of us will work towards providing and producing one presidential candidate to contest for the election. And then we'll form an alliance around the presidential candidate and remove Tinubu and the cancerous cells of APC in Nigeria.
Okay, Mr. Kenneth, you're still yet to answer my question. And
yes.
The question is, what will be different? You have criticized the APC.
Very
what
good.
Will be different from what the opposition party will create? All
right. Thank you for that opportunity. In the area of security, we are not going away to defend. We are going on offense. This incompetent and corrupt APC that waits for the bandits to murder our generals, to murder our colonels, to murder our majors and captains and all the officers. We are not going to wait for that. We will equip our men. We will ensure state police, because we don't play politics with the lives of Nigerians. We are going to amend the constitution to provide state police immediately we enter into the governance. In the area of economy, recall that when Atiku came in with Obasanjo, they did not go and borrowing. They went and paying our debt. And within 8 years, they were able to take us out from $38 billion debt. But within 3 years, the incompetent Tinubu has borrowed us $38 billion. Those people that perform that magic are still around. They are part of the opposition. You can imagine an Atiku president. He will go around paying off Tinubu's debts. They did it before when they didn't have money. And they will accumulate enough external reserve to give us power, to give us security. This government says if you don't give us power, vote us out. I wonder why he's contested in the first place. What a dishonest president. We will give you power, we will give you security, we will give you the environment to operate in Nigeria. We will ensure that we reactivate the creative power of the youths in Nigeria. And I can tell you that Nigeria is here. You are about to see the best of this great land. APC is the stem cell that will rebuild this country.
I think we'll appreciate it if you can leave out the
APC.
Ruling APC and just let's focus on the summit and let's focus on the opposition political parties. There was a summit today, a very important summit today.
Very important.
And Nigerians really want to know what is coming out from that summit.
That is what I am saying. Binta, if you want me to leave out the ruling APC, let them leave Nigeria alone.
Okay.
Let them go home in peace. I am telling you that ADC, African Democratic Congress, you know why we are Afrocentric in nature? We are going to rebuild the image that this government has destroyed. You can see how we cannot even defend our people. America would have to come and bomb Nigeria to defend Nigeria. ADC is going to reactivate the security. We will